Today we're going to talk about solving quadratic equations by factoring. Let's just go back to our linear equation for a second. If we had 2x minus 6 equals 0, this is an equation you've solved before, and you find out that x equals 3. If you had the linear equation y equals 2x minus 6, and you plugged in 0 for y, you would come up with the same answer, x equals 3. So what we're going to do is look at a quadratic and find out how to solve for x when you're given an x squared. Because remember, the parent function of a quadratic is y equals x squared. Now we're looking at the form of a quadratic using intercept form, where the parabola is going to intersect the x-axis at 2 and 4. If we again put a 0 in for y, the only way to make y 0 is to make one of these x's a 0. In order to do that, we have to find what x needs to equal. In order to make that factor 0, x would have to equal 4. Well, the same thing happens with x minus 2. If I made the other side into a 0, I'd have to say x equal 2. So I could use either factor. I could use the 0 here, or I could use this factor here. Remember, factor is things that are being multiplied. So anyway, let's say that again. If I wanted to make this factor a 0, then I'd have to say x equals 4. So 4 minus 4 equals 0. If I wanted to make this factor a 0, I'd have to say x minus 2. And I'd have to make x into a 2, so that 2 minus 2 equals 0. Okay. Notice that x equals 4, x equals 2 are the 2 points on my graph that are intersecting the x-axis. Okay, so if I have found where my points are intersecting the x-axis, I've also found what's called solutions, or what x equals. And I've also found they're also called the zeros, the roots, or the x-intercepts. So if you see this in a problem and it says either one of these, it's talking about the same thing. Now my solution is x equals 4 and x equals 2. Those are the two answers that I'm looking for. You can write it like this, x equals 2, 4, and list out the answers. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things that you need to know. If the parabola does not cross the x-axis, we are going to have two solutions, but they will be imaginary, and we will talk about that later. If you have a parabola that intersects the axis at just one point, it's going to be one real solution, because that is actually a real number right there. And again, if you have it crossing at 2 places, it's 2 real solutions. Okay, let's just practice a little bit. So, if I change the y to 0, you're always going to want to solve for 0. Then, my two solutions for this problem would be x equals 5 and x equals negative 3. All right, now we're going to try it again. However, this time it's going to look a little bit different. The factors are only an x and then an x plus 6. You always set them equal to 0. Okay, so if the y is 0, then this x that's by itself must equal 0, because it can't equal anything else. And the x plus 6 is like we've been doing. So in this case, x equals negative 6. My answer is x equals 0 and x equal -6. Again, it's like two real solutions, because it can go through 0 as well as any other number. Okay, we're going to do this at 1 again because I want you to see it where it equals 0 again. So 3x equals 0 because if you divide by 3, you're still going to get 0. And x plus 6, again, the same one. X equal -6. Okay. All right. So we have another example where everything's already factored out. I have x minus 3 and x minus 3. Really, this is just a parabola that touches or crosses at 3. It doesn't have two solutions. It really only has one solution. Okay, so the answer is x equals 3. Okay, now you may see it look like this, x squared minus 6x plus 9. If I factored that, which we're going to do, then I would have x minus 3, x minus 3. Again, the same one we just did. I just want you to see that the first step you're going to do is factor, and then the second step is you're going to solve for x. So in the next videos, we're going to talk about factoring. Okay, last point that I need to make here. You may have some factors that need a little extra work. In this case, let's say we have an equation that's been factored. I'm going to set it equal to 0. And I've got 2x minus 3 equals 0 and 4x plus 5 equals 0. So I have 2x equals 3. Do the one on the left first. And x equal 3 divided by 2. On this one, I have 4x equals -5. I move the 5 over. And now I have x equals -5/4. So my answers are x equal 3/2 and x equal -5/4. All right, that's it for this video.